Good morning, students. Yesterday I discussed about the public corporation or the statutory corporation, and then I told you the meaning of public corporation and I told you the features of public corporation. Today I am going to discuss about government companies. It is also one of the public sector enterprise. So today I am going to discuss about government companies. And what all things I am going to discuss in today's class. First things I am going to discuss the meaning of government companies, and then I am going to discuss the features of government companies. Only these two things I am going to discuss in today's class. Okay, first, meaning of government companies. I told you before going to give you the definition, let me tell you, government companies is also one of the public sector enterprise. And what is public sector enterprise? Public sector enterprises are those which is basically run, owned and controlled by the government, either by the central government or by the state government or by both the government together. They are basically called the public sector enterprises. And these public sector enterprises are of different types. So in the big ones I discussed about the departmental undertaking, then I discussed about the public corporation or statutory corporation, and today I am going to discuss about the government companies. So these government companies are also one of the public sector enterprises. Now who are called the government companies? Government companies are those companies where the more than 50% of the paid up share is being paid by the government. That means the maximum of the capital is being contributed by the government. More than 50% of the capital is being contributed by the government. And the remaining capital is being collected from the public in the form of share. That is the main things of government companies. Once more, government companies, what is happening there? The paid up capital or the paid up share, more than 50% of the paid up share, or you can say the paid up capital, is being contributed by the government, either the central government or the state government or both the government together, and the remaining share are basically contributed by the general public. That is the basic of government companies. So what is the definition of government company? I have written it here. It is a company or an organization in which at least 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government or state government or partly by both central and state government. What are the main things of government companies? That more than 50%. When they are paying more than 50%, they are paying more capital. So the government company's case, what is happening there? The maximum control will be there from the government side, because the maximum capital is being contributed by the government. Now the question arises, what do you mean by paid up share capital? Somebody question asks you, what do you mean by paid up share? Okay, here I have given the paid up share. So you may have a question, sir, what is paid up share? So what is paid up share? It is the amount of money. Once more, it is the amount of money a company has received from shareholders in exchange of share. Once more, it is the amount of money a company has received from shareholders in exchange for share. That means when the company is selling their share in the market, anyone can buy the share. So after that, whatever money they received by selling the share, that is what is called paid up share. So in place of government companies, more than 50% of the share is being purchased by the government and remaining are purchased by the who? By the general public. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you what is government companies. Now, I am going to discuss the features of government companies. First thing, registration. That means how the government companies are registered. So, a government company is formed through registration under Companies Act 1956. Any government company, it has to be registered according to the Companies Act 1956. Just you write one line on registration. Next coming, separate legal entity. Like when I discussed you yesterday about the public corporation, there also I told you, in public corporation also the capital is being contributed by the government. But then also they have their own separate legal existence. Similarly, a government company, though 51%, more than half of the share is paid by the government, then also they are having a separate legal entity. And a government company can buy the property in their own name. Okay, like Hindustan Cables Limited. It is an example of government company. Because in Hindustan Cable Limited, more than 50% of the capital is being contributed by the government and the remaining contributed come from the public by selling the share of the company. But this Hindustan Cable Limited has a separate legal entity. That means they can buy the property in their name, in the name of Hindustan Cables Limited. Okay? Next coming, majority capital provided by government. How the majority of the capital provided by the government? Because in the definition only I told you, in government companies, more than 50% of the paid up share capital is being contributed by the government. So that means more than half capital is being contributed by who? By government. That is why majority of the capital provided by the government. Because government is paying more than half of the capital. Minimum 51% of the capital. Okay? That is why majority is being contributed by them. Next point, own staff. Like yesterday also I told you, when I discussed about the, central companies, there I told you, they are also having their own staff. Similarly, in case of government companies also, their employees are not government servants. So in place of government companies, the persons those who are working in government companies, they are not the government servant, or you can say its employees are not government servants. Those who are working in government companies, they are not the government servant. Okay, they are the servant of that particular government company. Like Hindustan Cable Limited, those who are working in Hindustan Cable Limited, they are not the worker of either the state government or the central government. They are the worker of Hindustan Cables Limited. Okay? And the last thing, accountability. That means its annual report or the books of account is placed before the parliament or the state legislature. Why? Because Because here also the maximum capital is being contributed by the government. If it is contributed by the state government, that means its books of account or the annual report you have to present in the state legislature. If it is paid by the central government, that means its books of account or the annual reports you have to present before the parliament. That is why they are accountable to the parliament or the state legislature. Now the question arises, why they are accountable to the parliament or state legislature? Because more than 50% of the capital is being contributed by the government. When government is contributed the capital, definitely they have the right to know about their annual report, okay, or their books of accounts, what happened, they have the right to know because they paid the maximum capital. He has given them a majority of the capital paid by the government. When majority they have paid, they have the right to know it. So once more, what all things I discussed in today's class, just a little bit I want to tell you again, beta. First things I told you, what is government companies? There I told you, it is also one type of public sector enterprise. And there I told you definitely the most important things or the key point of here is more than 51%, at least 51% of the paid up share capital. It has to be mentioned. And then I told you about registration. It is registered according to the Law of Companies Act 1956. Then I told you separate legal entity. That means they have the separate legal entity and they can buy their property in their name. I have given you the example. Majority of the capital provided by the government. Already you are knowing the definition is said at least 51%. That is more than half. Next, management. It is basically managed by who? It is managed by the board of directors. Nominated by who? By the government. Once more, who manages the government companies? Government companies are being managed by the board of directors. And who nominated them? They are being nominated by the government and the other shareholders. Okay, so the board of directors of the government companies are being nominated by who? By the government or the other shareholder. Then I told you what do you mean by the own staff. Own staff means those who are working in government companies, they are not the government servant. They are the servant of that particular government company. Like I given you the Hindustan Cables Limited. In Hindustan Cable Limited, the workers, those who are working, they are not directly related with the government. Their payment and everything is done by Hindustan Cable Limited itself. Next I told you accountability. So any government company is accountable or their annual report has to be placed before the parliament or the state legislature. So this only little bit of things I taught you in today's class. Please go through it. Try to understand properly, and whenever you are going to write the features, these points are very, very important. You must write these points, you must write this subheading and then explain them maximum in 1 or 2 sentences only. Don't write more than that, not required at all. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you. Thank you so much.